if you want to succeed in marketing, you have to understand that it's not always that you need to use money for marketing. Don't get me wrong, there's always a place for advertising, right? But my experience, especially marketing in a very difficult and very complicated market like Nigeria, where many times people take their buying decisions based on considerations that sometimes don't even make sense. It becomes more important for you to identify exactly what will be worth paying advertising to do, rather than just thinking that when you advertise you get you the results. It depends on what you're selling, and it depends on who your target audience for what you're selling is. All right, but let me just say it here. The thing is, many people just mechanically go into marketing using advertising as a strategy without really thinking it through and being sure about what the likely results of doing so will be. And so many times they end up wasting money. They don't see results, and then they think, oh, the business is bad or the environment is not good and things like that. What I have found out is an intelligent approach to adopt is, first of all, deploy as many strategies as possible that are low to zero cost towards promoting that product or service, and see the results you get. Analyze the behavior of the people that you come in contact with by way of sales conversations, if any of such happens, and then use that as a basis to decide which areas exactly you will find most profitable to invest money in advertising on. All right, and that's what I've done. And today, believe me, I'm about to launch a campaign of advertising using certain platforms, which I will not mention for now. And I'm completely convinced that I'm going to get superior results to what I've already obtained without doing that advertising. So I do not do paid advertising. I've never done paid advertising on any basis, in any form, since I started my business, except my first year when I was trying to do paid advertising in newspapers, and it was a total disaster. So I've been using the web, I've been using web-based marketing, and I've been doing something that's called MWA, marketing without advertising. All right, and the truth of the matter is that if I really to explain the details of what that entails, it will take, I think the video will be too long. So what I'm going to do is give you some highlights, and then let you know that you can request through the information provided in this video for download access to the PDF. It's a free PDF that I've actually kind of tried to condense all the information into, which you can then read up and understand better what I'm talking about. And I also give you links if you do get in touch with me using the instructions in this message, in this video. I'm going to give you details of how you can also download what I will call a power positioning Bible. That's what I'll call it Power Positioning Bible by Michelle Fortin. I'll tell you how to get it. It's something I'm not even sure it's readily available on the web anymore. He used to sell it many years ago, over 1.5 decades ago, and then he made it free, but I'm not sure if it's available on the web. But I do have a copy, and I'll just let you. I'm not selling it or anything, it's just available. And if you can study it, many people do not have the mental discipline to study resources like this. But if you know you want to be able to uniquely and cost effectively promote your brand, no matter what it is you sell, be it physical or digital products or services, then I tell you, you want to read that Power Positioning Bible. But I'm going to just give you an introduction to this concept of marketing without advertising, of which an element is the use of power positioning, and then you will understand what I mean. And then from there, you decide if you want to hear more or you want to learn more. Then you can get the PDF, because I cannot see everything. All right, so I call it, another name for it is zero advertising marketing. In other words, marketing without advertising, which means you are marketing but you're not advertising, because advertisement or advertising normally would require spending money, and I'm saying you can do your marketing without spending money and you can get results. As I speak to you, it's 4:36 a.m. on the morning of the 30th of September 2021. All right, but yesterday I received yet another payment. I've received this. It's happened to me countless times. I cannot even count the number of times it has happened, where I will receive payment from a client who is literally a total stranger. Okay, I mean, the amount of money could range from as little as 5,000 or even 1,005 to as much as $375. I have received these payments. I have proof of it. Those who are my clients have seen some of the proof. Some of them are in form of video, some of them are in form of PDF, some of them are in form of JPEG images, screenshot images that I share on my blog, because I do tell a lot of stories. I just do case studies, taking examples of different sales or selling experiences I've had, sales conversations, blah blah blah. And I tell you, when this sale happened yesterday, it just made me realize that I've come so far. It wasn't that I didn't know I'd come so far, but it just made me realize that wow, I do these things now. It's almost like a spontaneous reflex, and I don't even have to really, think about it much. I actually just confidently talk about the fact that it's going to happen and talk to the potential buyer like that, and it just all happens like clockwork. Okay, this client is actually a return. It came around to do a return purchase. So in other words, you have a buyer who buys something from you, and imagine way back in 2016, if I recall correctly, then he comes back in 2021, calls me some months ago and says he wants to find out if I have an improved version of my software that he bought 7 years ago. And I tell him, yeah, I actually have some other people who have been talking like you, they want it. Because when he bought it that time, he was asking for some improvements and was asking me if I could do those. And I told him, well, I needed some incentive to do it, because if he was the only person asking for it out of like 20 people in a year, I didn't see it as something I wanted to invest my emotional and intellectual energy into. So over the years since he bought it, there have been other requests. I've had people from in and out of Africa buy the same product, which is my poultry farm manager, the Excel VB poultry farm manager software. I'll try and put a clip of the user guide video on your screen. And then he asked me that, and I told him, well, there are some people who have asked for the same thing, similar to what you've asked for, and we're looking at whether they can make payments, and I will build this new version. Turns out they did make payment, and I went ahead and built the new version. I call it the yearly poultry farm manager, and this one has the capacity to do multi-year data handling, covering at least the life cycle for a batch of birds in the poultry layer farming system. So you know that a batch of birds will probably work for about 1.5 years thereabouts, in the terms of their productive life cycle from the time they become pullets and they begin laying. So you just imagine, I just want to have like a cycle of 1.5 years thereabouts from the time they come into the system, they begin to lay at 19-20 weeks, and then in terms of laying lifespan, right? So I confirmed to him that those people that made payment, we had that new version. So he came back a few months ago, like I said, and asked me all those questions, and I told him and I said, well, I was actually planning to do a test run of the new version, and if he wanted to come on board, he could get a special offer that would make it to those people who will participate in that, just like what is called a beta evaluation. And he said, okay, I should send it. Now remember, this is a gentleman who has bought from me. I have never met me before. In fact, the first time he made contact with me, I was in Cotonou, and I was in my room at night. When he called me, we spent over an hour talking about my product, my Excel Visual Basic Poultry Farm Manager, the same software. Then he had called me back some weeks later and then told me he wanted to make payment. And by the time I crossed over to Nigeria, he reached out to me again. Eventually, he made the payment. Then I got back to Benin, and he then told me he wanted I was still in Nigeria actually, and he wanted the DVD, a DVD of the product, with the videos and everything, because of the nature of his job. He's always offshore, so the internet connectivity might not be available. So I got back to Benin Republic, and I had to come back again to Allen Avenue to do a courier delivery to him through FedEx. All right. So, and I remember there was some complication about delivery to him. Eventually, we got to him, and the person who was supposed to deliver it made some mistakes. He had to call me and say he hadn't seen it. Eventually, I had to go to the FedEx office again. It was an interesting experience. Eventually, he got it, and for some weeks I was speaking with him, guiding him. This was a gentleman at that time who had about 22,000 layers. But remember, I'm saying I never met him face to face. All we did was speak on phone all through, email and phone. We didn't even use WhatsApp then. Email and phone. I'm just emphasizing this so you understand. I'm talking to you about making total strangers confidently send you money for your products and services without needing to meet you. That is the theme, okay, under which this video is being published, and is meant to be a precursor to the PDF report of the same title: Zero Advertising Marketing, or Marketing Without Advertising. Learn how to make total strangers confidently send you money for your products and services without you needing to meet you. Right. So this guy had never met me till this day, And yet at that time he sent me 75,000. He sent me money for the courier delivery, and I made sure it happens. Like it happens with many of my other clients. We become friendly, become connected on social media, blah blah blah. But in this man's case, we really were not so much in touch per se. As I said, he will usually go offshore and he'll be out of touch completely. His phone lines will not go through, things like that. So then when he's back in town, he'll do a hi there, he'll do a message and all that. That was the kind of relationship we had. So I had not heard from him for a while. Then suddenly he came back earlier this year, and then he came back to me again some days ago and said, hey, I've been out of town. By the way, I saw your message, because I sent him the offer. He hadn't taken it up. I had no clue where he was. I just kept moving with my stuff. And then he wrote in as soon as he came around. He was back in town. He wrote me and said, hey, I'm around. And I didn't have time to get back to him, though I did send him a message saying, this is what I've done so far. If you're interested, you can join the bandwagon. People are doing a test run, but you are not in the first batch. Probably you're going to join the second batch. This is what it takes to join the second batch. So I did him an SMS with a WhatsApp message. At that time, we've connected on WhatsApp. And then he gets back to me in the night, day before yesterday. Look at that. I didn't call him. I didn't have time to. I sent him a message. I went out. I was on the road. There were things I was trying to do. And I forgot about calling him. He calls me. So I tell people all the time. I tell people I'm mentoring on this marketing without advertising concepts, on this web marketing system development. I tell them all the time, the system I use and which I implement for you and offer to design for you is a system that attracts to you people that are called motivated buyers. It is important to make sure that your marketing brings to you people that are motivated buyers, not those ones that we call time wasting buyers or time wasters. There's a big difference. It's not everybody that can be your customer, and it's not because people have more money that makes them qualified to be your customer. It's because they want what you are selling. In fact, if you can find those that need what you are selling, then you are even better off. Because those people that want it may not exactly be as driven as those that need it. I'll give you what's the difference between people that want your solution and people that need it. Good example. Imagine somebody that already has what it is you are selling, but just wants a little more. Okay, to make it up. But it's not like he will die if he doesn't get it. It's not desperate. So somebody has a male child already, wants a female child, him and his wife. So yeah, it would be nice to have a girl. We're trying to get a girl, but it's just not working out. We're trying. My wife has not been able to conceive. We've gone to all the doctors. We don't know what's going on, and we've had a baby already. Then they have this other couple. They've never had a child at all, and the wife is approaching the wall. Maybe she's almost 40 now, and it's getting like the chances are getting slimmer and slimmer. So they're really desperate. They really want to make it happen. Also, they're aging. They want to be able to get this child in so that they don't have to stay long before the child is of age to leave home and all that. But they want to have a child, at least one child, but they have none. So there's a couple that have a child, they want an extra one of a different gender. There's a couple that, now you see, the couple that has a child already will not be, may not, they could be, but they might not be as driven, because they have a male child, they have a female child, they want a male child. They might not be as driven. They'll just say, well, if we don't have a child, no problem, we already have one, thank God, we're okay. But the other one that doesn't have a child at all may be more driven, that, oh, how can I go childless all my life? I don't want people to look at me funny. I don't want people to call me names. So those are different levels of motivation. The incentive that is driving that individual to make a buying decision, if the person is confronted with a solution to the problem of barrenness. Let's say that's the problem. Maybe the woman is barren or thought to be barren, and she wants a solution, a cure to that. She's not able to have a child. The motivation she will have to look for a solution and take action to get it will be different from the motivation of the person who already has a child and is just looking for an extra one. But it's not really, most times say, well, if I don't get, no problem. So you see, that's what they call a motivated buyer. Motivated buyers come with different levels of drive, determination, interest, passion, the willingness to do whatever it takes to get what they want from you. They'll be driven by the need they have. So if it's just a want, it may not be as strong of an incentive as a need. That's the difference. All right, I felt the need to emphasize all of that because I want you to understand why, when you're doing marketing without advertising, you are depending more on this factor I mentioned now, how motivated the buyer is. You see, when you're doing paid advertising, if you are smart, I would advise that you do paid advertising for something you are reasonably sure about, in terms of who are the people that need what you're selling and what it is that they want to hear or see that will convince them that they should buy from you. So they must really be convinced the minute they encounter your marketing material to just take a buying decision. So you are going to get good return on your investment in the paid advertising. But if not, then I say start with marketing without advertising. Start with the zero cost advertising, and then after you've done that to some extent, you've understood the buying patterns, you understood the behavior, the mentality, all right, the mindset of your buyers or your prospects, the people that make inquiries, then you can use that to decide on what you spend money on in terms of advertising. All right, now all of the stuff I've said now is designed to kind of let you know that there is a body of knowledge. It's not elaborate, it's not voluminous, but it's a body of knowledge within just 5 pages that describes what you can do, okay, to get around the difficulty of finding serious buyers that are going to pay you good money for what you are selling. Today's harsh economy makes advertising funds very hard to find, so you don't want to just waste your funds. So if you want to keep your profits up or build your profits, you need to add marketing without advertising to your business promotion arsenal. So what I'm offering you in this report that I'm asking you to request from me, it's a PDF. It's about 7 pages, but actually 5 pages of key content. I'm offering you introductory insights to guide you, okay, in using marketing without advertising to profitably promote your products and services, okay. And you see, I know that people generally believe that you need to spend money to make money, and I agree, but it's to some extent, all right, because history attests to the fact that there are many viable ways to actually make money without spending money. In fact, there's a guru in marketing. His name is what's his name now? Dan Kennedy. He's an American marketing consultant. He says experience has convinced him that if you cannot make money without money, then you cannot make money with money either. You see, and it's true. There are all these people saying that if you don't have capital, lack of capital is a problem. It's just an excuse. The truth of the matter is, I'm living proof that you can make money without money. You can start from zero each time and bounce back and make, as much money as you want, depending on what your target is in terms of what you're selling. So if you practice marketing without advertising, you are going to find out that you will achieve phenomenal profit retention in terms of selling. Whenever you are not spending at all to get a buyer, you know that your profit margins will be higher than when you are spending on advertising to get a buyer. Please don't misunderstand me. Advertising is good. It can be beneficial if it's done right. I'm just saying that if you can discipline yourself and learn how to sell what you are selling without actually having to pay for advertising, it means you will make more money. It means 2, you will understand your buyers better. You will know what is driving them to buy, and you will be able to target that even when you want to do paid advertising and get better results. All right. So I don't claim to know it all. I don't want to create the impression that I have superior knowledge or monopoly of knowledge. All right. But my interactions with people on and off the web, all right, at various levels. I've talked with CEOs, I've talked with employees of CEOs, I've talked to people that are in corporate organizations that are working in marketing and sales and other decision makers, and I've found that a lot of them lack a sound understanding of what I'm talking about here. Okay, they do not know how to successfully, and I mean for the long term, promote the solutions they offer to those who need it without coming across as being pushy. In fact, many of them, okay, they are people that do what you call pushy salesmanship or pushy selling, where they just come at you, come and buy this thing, and they are pushing. This is what they are selling, and they are pushing it in your face, and they are telling you they don't even want to know if you are interested in it. They don't want to understand what your problem is that you want to solve. You see, if you want to succeed with marketing without advertising, all right, you first of all have to understand your customer. And I said something about needs and wants. You know what his needs are. What is his felt need? Then use that as a leverage, as a point of contact to appeal to him. Okay, with whatever solution you offer. Because what you must offer to people based when you want to do marketing without advertising is a solution to that need. A solution to that problem. Because a need is a problem. A need is something that somebody wants, all right, desires passionately, but is unable to get and needs help to find. So it becomes a problem. So if you can help him address that need, you are solving a problem for that person. Because the reason why it's called a need is because the person has a desire to eliminate it, or to address it, or to treat it. Right? So it's not that I'm trying to teach you English language. I'm just saying that this is a fundamental level of understanding you need to have if you want to succeed in business marketing at an optimal level. So everybody can succeed in marketing. People just throw money at marketing. I'm saying that you can intelligently approach marketing and reap powerful profits doing it without spending any money, and then using that knowledge you have gained from doing it without spending money to accurately assess what you need to do in terms of paid advertising to reach your target buyer and get him to pay you money, and you make more profits. All right, now if you'd like to get a copy of this report, as I said, it's titled Zero Advertising Marketing: Make total strangers confidently send you money for your products and services without needing to meet you. If you want to be able to make sales like the one I just described to you, where this gentleman called me, just for me to end the story, and then told me, oh, listen, do you have this new product? You have an improved version of it? I said yes. He then called me back yesterday, talks to me and says, hey, I saw your message, I saw the offer you made, but the thing is, I need to ask you some questions. I said, go ahead, what are the questions? And then he says, look, I'm having difficulties with my employees on my farm because, as I told you, he's a poultry layer farmer. And he said, look, they've been eating me up, they almost eating me dry, sucking me dry. I put them on the farm. It's almost like I'm working for them. They're not working for me. They keep doing things the exact opposite of what they know I want, because when I'm not around, they're trying to take care of themselves and not my farm. And so what I decided I'm going to do is I'm going to restructure the farm. I'm going to get more involved. I'm going to be around more often. And I want my software, with the improved version you're talking about, I want to use that to get started with it. So can you tell me what's to take from me to get that software? And I said, why don't you consider becoming my affiliate partner like other people have done, so that you get the software free? We talk about it. He says, no, I don't need that. These guys are not even working with me as it is. If I have an affiliate partnership, it's not going to help me. For now, let's start with this. Let me just get the software. How much will it be? And then I tell him the price, and he goes ahead and does a transfer. Well, no, he didn't even do a transfer. He actually had to send one of his people in his office to go down and he actually had to do a cash payment of about 80,000 naira. Not about, exactly 80,000 naira into my account for this new version. I gave him a discount, a substantial discount. And the point I'm making is, this is for a product that's already been prepared. This is a product he had bought before. I've just extended it by adding some new features and functionalities to it. And this guy goes ahead and sends 80,000 naira. As I speak to you, he still hasn't even sent me the details for the farm for me to put into the new version of the software and prepare for him. He still hasn't done that. That is how busy he is. He's not the only one that behaves that way. I have clients like that. They just make the payment because they trust me. I built these relationships with people in and out of Africa: Tanzania, Malawi, Uganda, Kenya, all right, Benin Republic, okay, Cameroon, Ghana, Pakistan, Philippines, UAE. I'm mentioning places. I'm not joking. The USA. These are countries, and all across Nigeria. Believe me, I would say more than 80% of states in Nigeria, I have at least one customer there. And I tell you, the reason why I succeed in this manner is because I have learned to understand the mindset of my target audience. I understand what motivates them, and I always make sure that when each person contacts me, I dig deep to even find out what their hot buttons are. All right, all of what I've said to you in this recording is based on the achievements I've recorded over the past 15 to 18 years. The thing is, many people are not ready to invest that kind of time to learn the things I know. That is why I'm offering to share it with you through the insights I offer in publications like the one you are being given information about in this recording. All you have to do is send me an email via tayo@tksole.com with your name, your WhatsApp phone number, and your job title, as well as the kind of business you are into, and your country, of course, that you are from, and just send it to me through tayo@tksole.com, and I'll send you the download link to this report, and also let you know how you can get access to free consultation from me on what I do, which is web marketing system development. Okay, I can guide you to do it. You can even join my web marketing for CEOs club and let me give you free coaching on how you can implement a web marketing system for yourself, or have me do it for you. Either way, you will learn how to find buyers, okay, from any part of the world, who will send money to you gladly, even though they never get to meet you face to face, and who will gladly continue to do business with you year in, year out. I'm living proof of it. I'm living this lifestyle, and people told me it was impossible, but I'm living proof that it's not impossible. Anybody can do it. I don't have any IT certifications. I don't have any IT computer training, formal credentials or certification in any IT field. Yet I earn income internationally, doing web marketing system development, web development, doing custom spreadsheet software development, and I'm making money as an IT professional. I don't have a single certification, but I succeed. Why? Because I solve problems. Also, what you need to do is communicate the fact that you solve problems. And I'll tell you this before I end. Please reach out to me knowing if you are sure that you are a person that is doing authentic business, you are a person that is doing honest business, you are a person that is competent at what you do. So you know what you do, you are good at it, and what you do actually solves a problem for customers. So in other words, you are real, you are for real. It is only people like that that can use my kind of system successfully. If you are a fraud or a phony or a dishonest person, this will not work for you. All right, get in touch with me if you're interested. Cheers.